Hello everyone, I'm Sun, and you're listening to Sun's podcast. Actually, many of you might not know that I have two YouTube channels. The one I've been running for over 5 years is Sun Hyan, with over 600,000 subscribers. Sun's podcast is a newer branch that I just started recently, and luckily, it's already reached over 100,000 followers. So, I have two silver play buttons, which are milestones in my journey as a content creator on YouTube. Some of you have said, "Oh my gosh, I wish you'd record videos where you sit and talk like you used to. Why are videos just audio now?" Well, here's the story. I have two channels, and each has its own distinct characteristics. Of course, getting to connect with you all every week like this makes me incredibly happy. It feels like there's a connection between us, even though we've never met. But you always feel that connection, and isn't that truly magical? Thank you all so much for listening and sharing with me. Roughly 80% of my followers are women, and today I want to dedicate this video to women. I'm not sure if the guys will be upset with me, but for me, the biggest mistake a woman can make is spending her entire life searching for a man. If I ever have a daughter, I will absolutely never impose on her the idea that all she needs in life is a husband. For me, the life of a woman, or a man first and foremost, requires understanding and loving oneself, building one's own life. And everything else will naturally fall into place. Love will find you naturally, without having to base your self-worth on someone else. I'm planning to make a video called A High-Value Woman in Love. I'm not sure if I should do it, so if you'd like me to cover that topic, please comment below and let me know. Perhaps that title will appear on my Sunny YouTube channel. Just this afternoon, I saw a video online about a mother verbally abusing her daughter just because she was over 30 and still unmarried. She was yelling at her daughter right at her workplace, and it was truly vicious. In life, I've witnessed such things a few times, people around me treating their children, especially their daughters, this way. And if the daughter is successful in her career, she's criticized even more. "Oh, you only care about work, you never think about dating. Your life needs a man, understand? Don't you dare come home without a boyfriend." These words are heartbreaking, and they come from mothers and fathers who are themselves hurt, projecting their pain onto their children. Of course, we won't blame our parents. After all, they raised us, and they genuinely believe that's the path to happiness. They think marriage and starting a family are happiness, and they simply see it that way, seeing you alone and lonely. Or sometimes, they just want to show off to others and avoid embarrassment. There are many reasons, but ultimately, there needs to be more understanding and civility towards our children. Parents need to understand one crucial thing. What they truly want most is their children's happiness. And when and with whom their child marries must absolutely be decided by the child when they are ready. It breaks my heart to watch such videos or hear people say things like, "Girls shouldn't study too much, shouldn't work too much, just get married, finding a husband is enough." That's an outdated, shallow, ignorant, and insensitive mindset cloaked under the guise of concern. Those are strong words from me, directed at parents if you can hear them. A few years ago, when I was around 25, my mother also urged me to get married. Of course, my mom never yelled or used harsh words with me like that. It was just a gentle inquiry, a bit of coaxing. But I spoke to her very seriously, and from then on, she stopped pressuring me. I told her, "Mom, look around. How many truly happy families do you see? There are some, yes, but very few. That's because the previous generation didn't take the time to understand themselves. People got married at 18, 19, 20. Women were highly dependent on their husbands economically. Even in our own family, back when I was in school, the main income came from Dad. My mom was a teacher, so her salary wasn't much. Clearly, there are many drawbacks when we rely on someone else to decide our entire lives. And my mom admitted that, looking around, there weren't many truly happy families. There was always some issue or another. And you can't really blame them because back then, parents barely had enough to eat, let alone focus on education, university, master's, or PhDs like today. But times are different now. Opportunities are greater, the country is more developed, intellectual culture is elevated, and education is prioritized, and it should be prioritized, so people can develop and understand their own worth in this world. The counter question I asked my mom was, "Do you want me to be happy, Mom? What you want most is for me to be happy, right? So please support me and be my emotional anchor. Live a healthy and happy life, that's enough. As for me, starting a family or getting married will have to be planned. It's not about just marrying anyone just to have a husband. No, it's not like that. I want to find someone with shared ambitions, similar thinking, the same vision, and compatible values to walk this long journey together. It's not about picking someone at random, then starting a family and creating generations of suffering later on. Too many children are hurt and grow up in unhappy families. To change that, we need to choose our partners more carefully, and at the same time, we must improve ourselves. Just recently, I read an article about the average age of marriage in Ho Chi Minh City being over 30. For me, this is an encouraging sign. After all, Ho Chi Minh City is a major city, and it's more developed economically and educationally. That's why people are becoming more aware of their personal development and understanding themselves. Older single men aren't pressured much. It happens, but far less than for single women over 30. These women are torn, condemned, and stabbed in the heart by painful words. These girls themselves desperately want to be happy. They desperately want to meet the right person and get married. They want that. If others are concerned and worried about her personal life, she herself is 10 times more worried. People say you should marry early to have children, to have good health while you're young. She understands that, but she can't force herself to marry just anyone and leave her life to chance. I personally advocate for happily living single rather than forcing yourself into a relationship where you feel unhappy. And if a woman spends her entire life searching for a man, that is a huge mistake. She needs to find herself, love herself, achieve emotional balance, have her own career, and her own interests. She needs to beautify her life like a flower garden, where plants are nurtured and watered until they bloom and release a fragrant aroma. And at that point, she will surely meet the right person, depending on when that flower blooms and when she feels ready. I believe what a girl should do is make her life more beautiful and wonderful, but not to search for someone, but to attract good things into her life. A girl should be free to decide at what age she wants to marry and when she wants to marry. The person most responsible for her happiness is herself, not anyone else. For myself, no one can force me into marriage or dictate what my ideals in life should be. This is my life, not my neighbors or the fishmongers. When I occasionally encounter people who make casual remarks like, "Oh, you should get married," or express opinions that I find disrespectful towards a woman, I'm ready to speak my mind and respond directly. I'm not afraid, and I don't want them to utter those words again the next time we meet. Who is responsible for my happiness? Only myself. And I am living very well, I am happy, I am developing myself, I am enjoying this life. If a good man appears in my life, then I will consider giving up this joyful single life to be with him. You should set boundaries that others can't cross. The weakest women are often the ones most overwhelmed by others. Femininity doesn't mean weakness. We need to be weak and strong at the right times. When you need to protect yourself and express your views, don't hesitate. Here's an interesting observation I've made, watching many people around me. Women who are not very happy in love are often the ones who urge others, "Oh, you should get married?" or "You should date." But women who are very happy in love say nothing at all. Instead, they say, "Just relax and take your time." Recently, I also spoke with a woman, a partner of mine. I was genuinely envious when I saw a picture of her and her husband, so affectionate, walking hand in hand, truly adorable. So I joked with her, "Oh, I really want to get married too, looking at you too." And she said, "Well, if you're single, just enjoy doing whatever you like and explore your life first before getting married. Because when you get married, you'll have so many responsibilities to worry about. You won't have this kind of freedom and comfort." So I asked, "So marriage is really that restrictive, that full of responsibility and tiring, sis?" And she replied, "Actually, everything has its own beauty. When you're single, freedom and comfort are wonderful. But when you're married, even with responsibilities and commitments, it also brings the meaning of building something together, creating a new generation together, and being happy when you see everything more complete. But everything will be good when we feel ready, you know." And I completely agree with that. Many girls think that if they meet a good person, they should marry them right away, even when they're only 19 or 20. Of course, some girls are lucky enough to meet really good guys, but at that age, we don't truly know what good means, you know? We might think it's good, but it might not be. Depending on each person's experiences and development, over time, we'll see our partners much more clearly. Whether they're truly sincere with us, whether they're truly compatible with us. Honestly, to share openly with everyone, I want to become a wife. I want to build a family. I want to raise a future generation in a happy home where both parents are sincere and full of love, and also give their children wonderful things. I believe parents are the role models for their children. That's why the younger generation now is very hesitant to marry, because they themselves have seen breakdowns in their own families. Many even think they'll live single forever, without any long-term commitment to anyone, because they don't believe it's truly effective in bringing happiness to their lives. And that's why we need time to discover ourselves, love ourselves, and heal ourselves to be ready to nurture a future generation. I genuinely love the idea of getting married and building a family, but that doesn't mean just any man is worthy of that. I need to meet someone who truly deserves it, deserves my sacrifice, deserves my love. And of course, I also need to grow more emotionally and as a person so I can be worthy of the things I desire in life. I believe that when we are in the right place, we will meet such compatible people. As I grow and gradually become the woman I aspire to be, I also determine what kind of man I want in my life. I have a very clear picture of how he appears, how he treats me, how he treats others, what his daily lifestyle is like, what he follows on Instagram or social media, how he uses social media, how he converses. I know it very clearly because that will be someone who resonates with me. The more clearly I know myself, the more clearly I will know my partner. When we don't take the time to understand ourselves, to understand our own worth, it's very difficult to know what kind of person we need in life. And then everything just continues as before: broken families, exhausted, stressed children. Clearly, deep down, we all yearn for happiness. So that happiness doesn't come from others. That happiness doesn't come from a husband or a lavish wedding. It doesn't come from the glamour others often talk about. Happiness comes from within us when we know what is enough, what is just right, what life is truly about. Life isn't perfect, but in every imperfection, there's a unique beauty. People often say that women over 30 are too picky, so they can't find anyone. Why should I be easygoing? We only need one man in our lives, so why should I settle? Who are you to tell me I'm picky? Who are you? How do you know the kind of people I meet? People will accept the kind of love they believe they deserve, and I know what kind of love I deserve. The amount of time we spend with our life partner will only increase, and that's the person who will be by our side for the rest of this life. Of course, if we're lucky, our children will eventually leave, and our parents will also leave. I don't want to live the rest of my life in loneliness, pain, and heartbreak. I want to be happy, so I will slow down a bit. I will slowly feel, reflect, and gently understand. I need to understand what happiness means to me, what enough means to me, and what kind of person I need to meet, how they resonate with me, how they share my thoughts, so we can walk a longer, farther path together. Later on, parents might pressure their children, but can parents be with their children for their entire lives? Can they be responsible for their children's happiness for their entire lives? I don't think so. So, for my life, I will be the one to make decisions and be responsible for them. And I won't spend my entire life just looking for a man. Instead, I'll build a beautiful garden, a true life, and he will have the opportunity to step into it. I won't depend my life on anyone. I want all you girls to have this kind of mindset: independent, wanting things but not needing them at all costs. This doesn't mean we don't need men or that we don't need to get married or have children. Everyone has a choice. Whether a woman wants to marry or have children is her right. When she is guided by something, she will develop in that direction. I'm not even 30 yet, but sometimes I find life incredibly tiring when people always bring up ages in conversation. By what age do you need to be successful? By what age do you need to be married? By what age do you need to have children? These ridiculous standards. In the end, this life isn't particularly long, nor is it particularly short, but it is your asterisk life. Choose what's good for your mental health. If you need to speak up, then speak up. If you don't want to keep answering other people's ridiculous questions, you can tell them directly, my life is not dedicated to finding a man. And if you can't be responsible for my lifelong happiness, then please, speak more reasonably. Of course, I want all of us to be happy and to meet someone who genuinely loves us. I wish for that. Instead of constantly pressuring, urging, or making silly jokes, let's send well wishes to each other. Let's pray for each other. Let's work together to build a better world, one composed of happy families and happy children. Let's do something bigger, more meaningful, and bring more happiness to others instead of unnecessary questions or prodding. One last thing I want to tell my girls: you will meet someone who loves you very much and will build a family life with you, as long as you don't rush too much and don't try too hard. Don't expect anything to be 100% perfect in this life. Everything is just enough and just right. And perhaps you'll need to find your own just enough. Thank you all so much for listening to today's podcast with Sun. It might have been a bit long, and my voice might sound a bit sleepy, because I truly am incredibly sleepy right now. The other night, I made a video about femininity that you all loved so much. Go to my YouTube channel, Sun Hyan, to watch how we can become more feminine to be loved more. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you in the next podcast episode.